For our next adventure, we're going backpacking as a family up on Mount Hood during a heat wave. We're on our way to Mount Hood to spend a couple days up by Twin Lakes. We're gonna hike in and camp up there, backpack in. Everything was set. I had my days off. What I hadn't counted on was this heat wave moving through. So it was 104 as we drove through Portland. It shouldn't be that hot up on the mountain, but it's gonna be warmer than we probably would have liked. But it is what it is. Those are our days off, and we're not giving up. We're doing it anyway. What's the hike like so far? What are your impressions?
It's going pretty good. You get a good momentum. Throws you up the hill.
How about the heat?
It's hot, but it's hot.
Is it doable?
Yeah.
Your dad's not, you know, you're not on a Burma death march, are you?
No.
Okay.
It's annoying, but
Good. As your dad, I want to make sure that I'm not killing my kids. Okay, I think we found our spot. Yeah. There's the lake right down there. I think this is our spot. The lake's kind of crowded. It's the middle of summer. Everywhere's crowded anymore in Oregon, but we just learned to adapt. We found this one campsite that's off the water. I like it for two reasons. One is it's a little bit private. It's the only private campsite on the lake. All the rest, the trail around the lake goes right through camp. So this is a good spot for that. Also, it checks another box, and it's on the northeast side of the lake. So tonight I want to try some Astro Photography, and I know the Milky Way, you can only see it when you look to the southwest. So we're perfect angle looking over the lake towards the Milky Way. So tonight I'm going to try some Astro Photography. Boy, after that hot hike, this is refreshing.
amazing.
Amazing. Ooh, there's a rock right here. Do you have any plans? Anything you want to do on this trip?
Well, I was looking forward to reading.
Reading.
Yep. And I don't know, just good time with the kids, of course, before school starts. Oh, I would love to see Palmateer Point. I can't wait to see the mountain.
It's 1 a.m. I wanted to do some astro photography of the Milky Way, and unfortunately I miscalculated, and our camp is too far to the east, and I can't look south enough. And in order to go where I can see the Milky Way, there's a bunch of other camps. So I am going to do my best. It's not ideal, but this is just a practice run. It's gonna be my first try. And it's not exactly the location that I was hoping for, but I can still try out my technique. Good morning. Had a decent night last night, except for I was up at 1 a.m. to start my time lapse of the Milky Way, and just taking pictures. I went back to bed, and then I set an alarm and got up at 4:30 because I wanted to get down and get my camera before anybody else along the lake woke up. Was hiking around it and found it, so I went down and collected it. I'll have to wait till we hike out to see if it worked. That's my first attempt at doing a time lapse of the sky. Yeah.
As you know, swingers.
Okay, we found a rope swing, and the kids are not quite ready for the polar plunge. The thing is, the hotter the air, the colder the water feels. So it hurts when you hit that cold water, even though the water's probably not cold on a normal day. You can already tell it's going to be another hot one today. So our plan is just to rest, stay close to the water, and stay cool as possible, because after dinner we really want to go for a hike. What you doing, Sam?
Filtering water.
It's gonna be a hot one today. What is that? So where'd you find that?
I found it right over there next to a stump, and it just kind of blended in with the what was sloughing off of the stump, but I recognized the shape, and it just looks so neat.
Little fish.
I love this. Somebody hand carved it, probably bored, sitting around camp, and left it for another camper to find.
This is what I'm having for dinner. And it tastes pretty good. It's fajita, but we're laughing because it says that best if used by May 2053. But what happens if it's June 2053? Do you throw it out? Is it good on May but bad on June of 2053? So Jeanette and the kids are feeling a little bit out of it because of the heat. But so they decided to stay at camp, and I really want to go and get some pictures of Mount Hood. So I'm hiking alone Gonna go up and find the mountain. Gonna head up to Palmateer Peak. We have a plan and this will work out pretty well. I'm sorry that they're not feeling well, but I totally get it. And so now I'm just gonna hike as fast as I can and be back as quick as I can. Careful, it's quite a drop, Annie. Ooh, gives me the heebie-jeebies. There's the mountain. We're getting close. Looks like we gotta go that way. We're getting close. I busted my patootie to get up here before sunset. I think it's still 85, and I took quite a pace to get up here in time, but I made it. This is Palmateer Point, my destination. I'm going to be doing some mountain shots and maybe talk a little bit about the history of the area. Mostly I want to do some mountain shots. This is the best time to be up here. We've got some alpenglow going to start. And good lighting today. We got some interesting clouds, a little red in the smoke in the air. It should be some good shots. Let's see what I can get. Looks like it's dusty up on the mountain. What I'm going to do this time is I'm going to frame up the mountain, and I make sure that I went in manual mode and I've got F22 because I want a full depth of field. I've got that stump in the foreground. You can see it there. And hopefully get some good lighting on the mountain. That feature off to the left is Illumination Rock. Illumination Rock has a quirky history to how it got its name. Back in 1887, an expedition of hardy souls from Portland climbed up to the rock with a large amount of red fire powder on July 4th, Independence Day. The expedition was led by William Gladstone Steele, better known as the father of Crater Lake National Park. The trip to the rock was difficult and dangerous, but the torched powder was easily seen all the way down in Portland. On the way back, Mr. Steele and his companion fell into a crevasse and barely made it back alive. This tradition was carried out on and off again all the way up until 1969, where they used mortars and rockets launched from the rock. Interviews with the climbers was broadcast all over the state, live on radio, during the event. The tradition has not been carried out since. The summit of Mount Hood is a popular climb, but this is also Oregon's most deadly mountain. In 2002, I remember an Air Guard helicopter crashing while trying to rescue a climber. I watched it on the news, live.
There it is, waving off. So I didn't see anybody go up. Look out, guys. There we are talking about things going wrong. Hang on, fellas. Oh, my goodness.
Oh, my gosh.
Oh,
my gosh.
That is horrible.
Oh, no.
Good Lord. Oh, fellas. Oh, my goodness.
Okay, there's the hog back.
You're watching this live, folks. Oh, if only this was a movie.
The Oregon Air Guard has been called to do daring things many times to rescue adventure seekers who have had their trip not go the way they like it to go. Okay, I've been up here taking photos for 40 minutes maybe. I need to start heading back. I've got more than 2 mile hike back to camp, and I'm going to be finishing under the headlamp, so I want to get a start. I don't want to do the whole thing in the dark. It wasn't, a very dangerous hike, but who wants to hike in the dark? Are you scared, Annie? Why don't you want to keep going? What's wrong? She sure is sticking close. This is what the end of the hike is looking like. We're still alive. That's a good sign. Good girl, Annie. Annie seems to be feeling more comfortable now. We are in the wilderness for sure. Long ways from anybody else. Well, I made it home last night, way after dark. It was probably about 9:30, but everybody was already in bed, and so I just threw off my pack and set my camera down and joined them. Didn't finish up last night. So got up this morning, we're eating breakfast. I went down to the lake, shot some B-roll video footage just to enjoy the serenity and glassiness of the water, and what a beautiful morning. Today we're packing up and heading out. Did you get stuck? She shakes like she got out of the water.
Oh, and now she goes again.
I gotta get this off my back. You did it, Sam.
Yay.
Well, that was the end of another family adventure. We'd been talking the last mile or so about a thick, juicy, fresh hamburger, and that's all we could think about. So we were off to find one. Overall, we had a great trip, despite the excessive heat.
He's putting things in. I'm getting my...
As in all my videos, this is the part where I usually talk about my photography. And there's a reason why my channel is called Average Guy Photography, because I'm just an average guy who enjoys trying to take good pictures. I've been trying to grow my experience, and this time I attempted some Astro Photography, and I realized that there is a lot of practice one needs to do. And the number one thing I need to work on is figuring out before dark what the best angle to shoot at is. And it's not always obvious during the day. Also, my camera settings need some tweaking, but this is my first try. I'm not too disappointed, though it could be much better. My second picture is just another nice picture of Mount Hood I took from Palmateer Point. The sun was setting, and I just boosted the colors and pulled out the clouds a little better so that we could see them, but there was nothing special about this one. Oh, one thing I did need to point out is that this is a high dynamic range, so I actually did 2 exposures, one normal and then one slightly underexposed, because the mountain was too bright and the foreground was too dark, and that's how I got them to be more even, was that HDR method. And that's it. I'm just going to show the 2 pictures this time. This was more about spending time with my family and the hike than photography. Thanks for watching.